Happy Tuesday to you. So today we are going live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So when you come on, please tell me hello, how you're doing, where you're from. If you are over here on Facebook and you are coming on right this very second, it's likely that you're watching the replay. If you are, please put hashtag replay in the comments. We would appreciate that. So I have Owen here and Victoria, and they are going to help me read the comments. So y'all talk to me, ask me questions as we go. We would love to answer your questions. So we are going to make some arrangements for our front cooler. So we try to fill our cooler up so as customers come in, they can purchase an arrangement straight out of the cooler and they don't have to wait on an order. So Victoria pulled some flowers for us to put together a couple of arrangements for you. We're going to start out with a bubble bowl. So if you are coming on now, please tell me how you're doing today, where you're from, tell us your name, all the things we love to know. We're going to start out with a bubble bowl. So here at our flower shop, bubble bowls are really one of our most popular arrangements. They're usually less expensive and they're just really easy. They're perfect for any space. So we are going to start out with a bubble bowl. I'm going to use a little bit of leather leaf. So my leather leaf, I like to take it and break it into smaller pieces, cut it at an angle, and tuck that right down into this vase. Now, I've got a hydrangea, so I am going to use a hydrangea to help me as a grid, but I'm just going to take a little bit of leather and tuck that right in. So I would say, gosh, how many bubble bowls do we sell a day, Victoria?
A lot.
A lot. A bubble bowl is really probably our most popular. Now, when we make a bubble bowls are, we sell them from anywhere from $35 up to, we have one that we sell for right about $85. So they range in price. You can have them really in any size. I'm taking this blue hydrangea and I've just tucked it right on top.
Miss Miranda Brooke followed
so it's just
on
right
TikTok.
there. Thank you, Miranda. So glad you're here with us. Next, we're going to come in with a yellow Gerbera daisy. So you can see how a Gerbera daisy kind of has a bend to it, right? And so I am going to take a florist wire. I have several in my little drawer here. I'm going to take a wire and I'm going to press it right here in the back of the disc, and I am going to wire that stem. Now I like to wire a Gerbera because it kind of helps me to manipulate his little neck. So our gerbs come with a lovely chartreuse green, I guess you would call it kind of a straw. It comes with it on the stem. My problem with it is if it was not that green color, I might leave that straw on there. But it's so green, so I go ahead and pull that straw off. I'm just tucking that right down into that that blue hydrangea. Next, I'm going to use an Alstroemeria lily. So Alstros are also called Peruvian lilies, and they come in tons of color, but that pretty hot pink is really pretty. Next, we're going to do, so we're just kind of using onesies today in this one, a pretty orange spray rose. This is called an Orange Babe spray rose. So this arrangement will be about a $35 arrangement. And then this is a purple Lysianthus, and it actually has two really pretty buds on it. So I'm going to take that.
Miss Rona Voss on YouTube says hello.
Hello, thank you for being here. So glad you're here.
You have lots and lots of hellos on Facebook.
Hello, guys. So glad y'all are here with me.
And Allison said she loved your outfit today.
Why, thank you, Allison. Thank you, ma'am. Well, snap. I'm struggling a little bit getting that little stem down into that hydrangea.
A few people have said it's very cold where they are.
Is it?
And some, it's sleeting. They're looking forward to the warmer weather.
Well, it's been pretty here. It actually warmed up really well. So this is called Hypericum berries. It's kind of a peachy tone. We like to get Hypericum berries in lots of color. different colors because it's easier to use in all the arrangements, right? So I'm just taking them, I stripped off that foliage, cutting that stem at an angle and tucking it in. So you can see this is just kind of a fun little all the way around bubble bowl. Lastly, we're going to add a little bit of honey bracelet to this arrangement. So I'm just taking it, I broke it in half, and I'm just tucking that right down into that arrangement. And I don't like how that's stuck, so we're going to change it.
Stephanie Clement asks, how much profit would you really make on a $35 bubble bowl?
Okay, so we always do what I call kind of a flower math, where we mark up our flowers about, gosh, how do you even tell you how much profit? I will have to message me and I can give you the breakdown. It's so much easier. Message me and I'll give you the breakdown of how much things cost. So you do the standard markup on your flowers and the standard markup on your vase, and then your percentage that you mark for your labor. And so we do a standard markup on everything.
Miss Sarah on TikTok asks, why do you cover the hydrangeas with other flowers? Question.
We are using the hydrangea actually as the grid for this vase so that all the other flowers won't topple out. If I use the hydrangea as a focal flower in this vase, it's so big. It's just going to be, hello, I'm a big blue hydrangea, and that's all you would see. And so when you look at it close, you see the blue peeking through. We just use it as a grid, and so that's the reason. So there is our bubble bowl. Just a fun little bright, happy $35 bubble bowl.
Mr. Ronavos on YouTube says, is it raining there? We've had storms all morning.
It rained all night. I think we got about 2.5 inches of rain last night. But it has not rained here today. It's actually been beautiful today. Okay, so Victoria chose 2 different roses. And I can use whichever one. I think let's use the movie star. I like that orange. So we have, this is called a Pink Floyd. It's a hot pink, beautiful hot pink rose. But we use it a lot. So I'm gonna hold off on the Pink Floyd. This is called a movie star. So it is kind of a burnt orange, almost matches my sweater, doesn't it? Just a really pretty burnt orange. So that's what we're going to use today. We're just going to make a traditional rosebud vase. So we don't do this very often, but they sell really well in our front cooler. So I thought we would show you a traditional bud vase. So up close on this Facebook. Can you even see me? I guess you can, Victoria.
Michael on TikTok followed.
Hello, Michael. Thank you for following. So I'm going to take about 2 or 3 stems of the leather leaf foliage, and I am going to tuck that right into my vase. So we usually just kind of leave it flat and tuck it right into that vase.
Sally Ray says on YouTube says, hello, so happy to have time to catch you live from Australia.
Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for watching.
Michael says he loves your instructions.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so there's our leather leaf. It's 4 stems of leather leaf. So next what I'm going to do is look at the beautiful foliage on this rose. Now the problem is my foliage is too far down on the stem, so I am going to pull it off. But if in case you can use that foliage, like if you were going to leave this stem really long, leave the foliage on if you can, if it doesn't fall below the water line. It's so pretty and it didn't cost any extra. So if you can leave the foliage on, do. I am going to remove it because I'm just going to use this as my top rose. So I'm going to remove the foliage, but if ever you can use it, leave it on there. I'm going to take my rose, and there is a little swollen part down below the head of the rose, and it's called the calyx. And I'm going to take a wire, press it into that calyx, and twist it right around that stem.
Sheila Kendall says, afternoon, ladies. Thankful for rain today as our pollen count yesterday was 4,117.
Oh my goodness.
She said today it was 3,258. Hope you feel better soon, Victoria. Thanks.
Thanks. Love and some pollen.
Yeah, I do feel a little better today.
Okay, I want to show you a trick on how to figure out how tall to leave your stem. So this is the length of my stem. That's sitting on the counter to the top of the head, right? So I'm going to take this stem and I'm kind of hanging it off the edge of my counter, and I'm figuring out roughly where I want that head to sit in my vase. So I'm going to cut it about 2 inches or so.
Thank you so much for the rose, Miss Sandy. She sent a gift.
Thank you so much, friend. Thank you, thank you. So I cut that stem about 2 inches, so that's the height that I wanted it to be. Now the next rose, I'm going to wire it really quickly. The next rose, I'm going to kind of stair step down. Now this foliage, I can leave a little bit of this foliage on because it's not too far down. I'm going to take it and figure out roughly where I'm going to want it in that vase, probably right about there. So I'm going to cut it off about 3.5, 4 inches.
Maria Norman says that rose would look beautiful in an autumn wedding bouquet.
Yes, it so would, Rhea. It's a beautiful rose. Okay, it didn't get quite as short as I wanted it. So pull it out and cut it again.
Miss April Ann Stewart sent a rose as well. Thank you so much, Miss
Thanks.
April.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you.
CBA Barrios followed you on TikTok.
Thank you for the follow, friend. Thank you so much.
Miss Donna Sue asked you wire all your roses.
Why do I wire
No,
roses?
she asked, do you wire all of
I
them?
wire 98% of our roses. So next I'm going to come in with Solidago.
Miss Michelle followed you on TikTok. Thank you, Miss Michelle.
Thank you, thank you. And so I'm going to use 2 stems of Solidago, and I just kind of like to tuck it in there with the rose, kind of fill it up right there.
Gray says, please continue to remember us in your prayers.
I certainly will, Gray. We are praying. And then I'm going to add just a little sprig of this eucalyptus, so it's just a pretty euc. Cut that stem at an angle. And then we like to add ribbon to our roses, so I'm going to pull a little stem, so I just added a little euc down at the bottom. Let's see.
Oh, Sweetbriar says that she's watching the collapse of the bridge in Maryland. She's praying for them all.
Wasn't that terrible, Sweetbriar?
Miss Claire on TikTok says, looks fabulous.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you. I'm going to use this pretty faux du peony ribbon, and I'm just going to make about 3 loops. So I like to just take it and make a loop, catch it, a loop.
Miss Donna Sue, hold on. Sorry. Miss Donna Sue asks, what is that eucalyptus called? Is there a specific
I think
name
it's a
for it?
gunna euc. We usually get our eucalyptus in a mixed box, but I believe that's a gunna. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Miss Fatima followed you on TikTok.
Thanks, Fatima. Thank you, friend.
Julie asks, do you ever use tree fern?
Not much, Julie. Now, when I first started in floral design, we used at the flower shop that I worked at, we used tree fern all the time. I don't use it a whole lot. There's just so many beautiful foliages. Tree fern is never, I mean, I like it, but it's not my favorite, so I don't use it as often.
Miss Lydia on YouTube says, I always admire your work. Which website can I order synthetic flowers? Thank you.
You can check us out over on our Shopify website, and that's Flowers by the Bunch at Shopify. Isn't that right, Owen?
Yeah, it should be in the link down below in the description on our YouTube, or if you go on our Facebook, you should see it. Also, where do you order most of your silks from?
Most of my silks we order from, good golly, here, there, and yonder. It depends on what the silks are for. If the silks are going to be for cemetery work, we usually order from a company called Legs Manufacturing. And if it's going to be nicer work, we order from a company called Tremont Floral. We've also ordered from Direct Floral. So we order from several different places. So this is going to be an arrangement. Did I bring those white hydrangeas in here? Did I drop them in the other bucket? I don't think I brought them in. I might have to go get some. This is going to be just a pretty large arrangement. They may be laying on the counter back there.
Okay. How many do you need?
Janet,
2, please.
Janice Sloan asks, how much is the bud vase?
The bud vase is $25. Is that right? Mm-hmm. $25 bud vase. So I am starting out with just a vase. We filled it with fresh water and some flower food, and I am going to add a little bit of leather leaf. Thank you, Owen.
Here, that one down there is 55.
That one's 55, and this one's 80. Is that right? Yeah.
You've got 3 new followers on TikTok. Miss
Thanks,
Bettina,
guys.
Miss Tracy, and Miss Tammy all followed you.
Thank you for following, guys. Thank you, thank you.
Miss Marilyn Chamberlain says, hello, I went to Val's, which is a place we go to get silks. They have all kinds of florals, so I saw the Bells of Ireland and bought some to use in my arrangements. Thank you so much. Since I've been watching you, I found most of the flowers you use. You have truly been a source of inspiration and encouraging me to start doing arrangements again.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so glad you are enjoying it. I think it's the most wonderful thing. Flowers just make me happy, and I am so glad they make others happy. I'm so glad you're doing it. That's wonderful.
Loco Freddy followed you on TikTok.
Thanks, friend. Thank you for being here.
Miss Alicia followed you, and Miss Annie also followed you.
Hello. Thank y'all, guys. I appreciate it. All right, so this time we are not going to use our hydrangea as a grid. It is going to be a focal flower. So I have 2 large white hydrangeas. I am removing the foliage, and I am going to use some quick dip. I'm going to take my floral knife, cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to dip it in quick dip. Now, quick dip is a hydrating solution that just helps these hydrangeas stay hydrated. Now, you can use, if you don't have quick dip, you can use alum, which is a pickling alum. It's just a powder that you can pick up at the local grocery store, and it is also used to help keep your hydrangeas hydrated.
Miss Vanessa Ann says she loves that you're doing these on live. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you.
We're trying to go live more on TikTok, so. Hopefully.
Yes, we're trying to do that better. And actually, we've done really well.
We're
doing better, aren't we? So I took my 2 white hydrangeas and I just tucked them in the vase. Of course, they are right there, front and center. Next, we are going to come in with, we've got some, I'm going to use first, we're going to use some Italian ruscus and give us a little bit of height. So Italian ruscus is, I love it. It's kind of a viney look. It's really a very pretty foliage. We don't use it really often here. It's just because it's a little pricier.
Miss Lydia on YouTube says, what is your name on TikTok or Facebook so she can follow you?
We are exactly the same all the way through. We are Flowers by the Bunch on both Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So
Flowers by the Bunch MS on Instagram.
MS on Instagram. Thank you, Victoria.
Miss Barbara on YouTube says, hi from Hattiesburg. Glad to finally catch you live. I've been watching replays and older videos for a while and learning a ton. Thanks.
So glad you're here, friend. Thank you so much.
Sheila Kendall says, love the yellow. And Miss Karen Tubb says, I'm going to like it. I think I saw yellow.
You saw yellow. It's our favorite. Okay, so I went ahead and used my floral knife and I removed any of those thorns because they bite. And I am going to come back to the head of the rose and remove any petals that don't look pretty.
Miss Annie asked on TikTok, do other flowers like alum or like alum is quick dip, or is it only hydrangeas?
I use alum and quick dip only for hydrangeas, and it's strictly because hydrangeas are what struggle with staying hydrated mostly. But with the quick dip, you can quick dip everything. I think it's safe for any flowers. But I usually only use it for hydrangeas because that's the only thing that I really have any issues keeping hydrated. I'm going to take my floral knife. I wired this stem. I'm going to take my floral knife, cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to tuck him right here in the top.
You've got 3 new followers, Miss Madeline Martinez, DL Schaefer, as well as Felicia Lincoln all follows you.
Welcome, guys. So thankful you're here. Thank you for watching. I'm going to take my wire, stick it in that calyx, and come all the way around. See how this has pretty foliage? Leave that foliage on if you can, because it doesn't cost extra. It just adds to the arrangement.
Charles Moore says, please send prayers for the families affected by the Key Bridge collapse.
Absolutely, we sure will.
Sweetbriar wants to know if there are new bows on your website. Her hands are still healing and she's wanting to purchase some.
We do have a few, Sweetbriar, but if you see any ribbon and you want those certain ribbons tied in a bow, girl, I am happy to tie it for you. So you just let me know what ribbons you want tied, and we can certainly customize a bow for you. I'm going to take another wire.
Kristen Weaver says, love catching you live while I'm working. Who is teaching a cookie decorating class tonight? Me.
You are?
It's going to be fun.
That will be fun, Kristen Weaver.
Miss Vanessa asks, may I ask what colors you think will be most popular this Mother's Day?
We do all colors at Mother's Day. We like spring. We sell more spring probably than any other color at Mother's Day. But, you know, mamas like all colors. So I don't think any color scheme in particular. I have got to get Mother's Day ordered. I have not ordered Mother's Day flowers yet. These are orange Babe spray roses.
Miss Lydia on Facebook sent a $5 gift. On YouTube sent a $5 gift.
Gosh, thanks guys. Thank you, thank you.
And she said, beautiful job.
Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you so much.
Wangler on TikTok says that they used alum with Bells of Ireland and foam, and it helped them very much.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Never even thought about it. But Bells of Ireland do not love foam, do they? They get so thirsty. Yellow daisies, just a standard yellow daisy. They're so happy.
Gladys and Wayne Barrier say, please pray for me and my back.
Yes, I certainly will. I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. Gosh, when your back hurts, you hurt. So there's our little yellow daisies nestled in.
You have lots of new hellos.
Hello, guys. So glad you're here. We're going to come in with some red colored Hypericum berries. So Victoria chose all these colors. This is a fun, bold colored arrangement.
Miss Cecil says this is her first time here on the live, and she's saying hello.
Well, so glad you're here, friend. Thank you for watching.
Sheila Niven says, Monty, you've taught me so much. When I get roses in an arrangement, I remove them and wire them. I find that makes them last longer than if they aren't wired. Thanks so much for teaching us.
Oh, you're so welcome. Ooh, the door's leaning. I'm too close to it today. I'm too close. Okay.
The Lyrical Lily on TikTok asked, what is the price point of this arrangement? Great to see you on TikTok.
This one is going to be $85, isn't it? Is that right?
I thought you said 80.
80. It's 80. This is a silver dollar eucalyptus, just tucking that kind of right up in that top. And then here's some more. So we order a box of eucalyptus that just has a pretty mixture, which is always fun. So I think this time it didn't have seeded, but it had the silver dollar, and it had this and some, spiral. Gunite and spiral.
Lewis shared the live. Thank you, Lewis. And Miss Allison Joy followed you on TikTok as well.
So glad y'all are here. Thank you for watching. Okay, we have some ranunculus. Now, their little heads are heavy. So I'm going to wire him real quick. Did we go dark over on YouTube? Y'all give us just a second. I'm going to wire this head, and let me show you a really quick trick to wiring him. I'm just going to take that wire and just kind of run it into, if I don't break him, run it just right into that bloom and just come right around that stem. Now, as he warms up, he's going to open up. He's not going to be this tiny little knot. He will open up.
Miss Yolanda followed and shared the live.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Rhea Norman says, I remember my eldest son, Harris, made a Mother's Day card for me when he was little. His teacher said, use your mom's favorite color for the flowers. He did them all black. We are the Adams here.
That's so funny. And I bet that teacher was like, what in the world?
Hope Dickerson says, this is my first time on the live. Hello from Madison, Mississippi. Love your floral tutorials. They give me lots of great ideas. Love those orange spray roses and the seeded eucalyptus.
Thank you, thank you. It's so fun, isn't it? These colors are fun. All right, so there's our bright colors. That one little eucalyptus is all in there.
I think that.
Oh, a steel bee. Yay! So here's a little bit of a steel bee. We're going to tuck that in. So a steel bee reminds me a lot of a solidago. I mean, it's just kind of that airy look. And so we're going to tuck that kind of in the top. What's really nice about the steel bee is it kind of pulls the white from those hydrangeas. It's kind of hard to see on that white door, but it pulls that white all the way through, which is really pretty. Now you can add ribbon to your arrangements, or you don't have to. But with that eucalyptus kind of hanging down, it's not necessary, but you can add a pretty bow. Most often, if we were going to add ribbon, it would be this style versus this style. This one we usually don't add ribbon to, but an upright we will.
HDC SHD says hello.
Hello, hello, welcome.
Mr. Michael is saying hello from West Hollywood.
Welcome.
And Wangler says, that's lovely, and so are you. Very nice and fun to watch you.
So glad you're here. Thank you for watching. Okay, now this one's going to be a pastel. So we've got some peach-colored garden roses. We have rose lilies, which are really kind of a double lily. We've got bells of Ireland, some peachy-colored, pinky-colored buttons, white hydrangeas, solidago, and a green and white hydrangea. So we've got a mini green and then a standard white. I'm going to do this kind of lower. We're going to leave the bells of Ireland sticking up, but we're going to do it kind of lower. I don't have any greenery, do I?
Do you need more leather?
I think so, Victoria. I think so. Because I have used all my greenery.
Miss Lewin says, hello from Oklahoma.
Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
The Lyrical Lily says, look at those fun lilies.
Aren't they beautiful? Aren't these rose lilies just gorgeous? We don't get them very often, but gosh, I love them when we do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ria says, oh, this pastel one could be my favorite.
It is so pretty, Ria. It is beautiful.
Doris Alanis asks, so is a ranunculus called a thornless rose?
I have no clue. I do not know. I have not heard it called that, but that doesn't mean that it's not.
Vanessa Ann says, lilies smell so amazing, one of her favorites.
They do smell pretty. They really do. Now, these do not have quite the fragrance that oriental lilies do. They do smell pretty, but they're not overwhelming. You know, an oriental lily can get a little loud, a little overwhelming, and these don't. It's just a softer scent, I think. Okay, there's some leather.
Melissa Kingsley says, I watched your video on YouTube and made my own cemetery vase arrangement. It turned out pretty good for my first try.
Great! I am so glad that video was useful. Thank you for watching. We've got a good many arrangements that we're going to have to do. Memorials will be here before you know it, so we will make more. I'm going to tuck that one hydrangea there, and we're going to come in and tuck our green one in also.
Mr. Michael asks, where are you guys located?
We are located in Starkville, Mississippi. We are the home of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. It's one of the universities here in our state.
Someone said, hello from Riverside, California.
Hey friend, welcome. So glad you're here.
Jesse Lofton asks, can you use artificial flowers to do that arrangement? And
You can use artificial flowers to make any of these arrangements. You absolutely can. Next, now this is solidago, my pretty yellow aster.
Miss Autumn says, my mom wanted lavender roses for her funeral. They also added bells of Ireland to the base.
Oh, I think lavender and green are beautiful together.
Angel Wings Florist and Gifts says, this will be my first Mother's Day with my shop, trying to figure out what I should order. What flowers do you sell the most of for Mother's Day?
Oh, honestly, for Mother's Day, we sell all the flowers. So what we like to do for a big holiday is I like to make a menu. And so we offer several different arrangements. Now for Mother's Day, I mean, we have just bought flowers and just let us do it freestyle where you can just do whatever you want to and not do a menu. But for like Valentine's Day, when we had such a large holiday, I'm stripping off some of the blooms on the bottom just because they didn't look good. What we'll often do is I will look to see what's available for Mother's Day, and then I'll go ahead and make a menu and say we're going to do border arrangements and rose arrangements for Mother's Day. That's what I do for Valentine's Day. I've never really gotten too carried away at Mother's Day doing that, but it makes it a lot easier and a lot more streamlined, and you don't have to think quite so hard. So I'm just going to have to look at my order form to see what flowers are available.
Someone asked...
But lots of color.
Someone asked, what do you dip hydrangeas in? What did you dip the hydrangeas
I am using what we call Quick Dip. So Quick Dip is just a hydrating solution. You want those in there?
Well, I didn't know if these would add height to your...
That would be fantastic.
To
So I'm going to take our rose lily, and I'm actually going to try to cut him and nestle him right in. He's a little harder, so I'm going to try to... He's got lots of buds, so...
Miss Cassette says, I am new here, watching from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Welcome.
So glad you're here. Welcome. Well, I missed the whole face.
Miss Wendy on YouTube says she's super glad to have finally caught you guys live. She says she loves you, Miss Monty and Miss Victoria, and she's from Seattle, Washington.
So glad you're here. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you.
Sharon McGinnis asks, are you going to make Easter arrangements?
We do not do a whole lot for Easter. Isn't that interesting? We don't do a whole lot of home arrangements for Easter. We do some spring arrangements, but not much. Not a whole lot for Easter.
Create and Partake on YouTube says, hello from Colton, California, and she loves your designs.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Okay, so I am wiring my roses.
Miss Julie Knox on TikTok says, hi from West Virginia.
Hello. Hello. Welcome. Okay, let's see. So I have an empty space right here. See how empty that space is? So that's where we're going to come in with our peachy colored roses. So this is the smaller bud. You can see I've got two different sizes, a smaller bud and a larger bud. So the smaller one's going to go closer to the top and the larger one will go toward the middle.
Carla,
go ahead.
Carla McLean says, beautiful, I wish you could deliver to Canada.
We do too. We would come visit.
Miss Courtney Welch says, how long will hydrangeas last in wet foam?
They don't love wet foam. They just don't stay as hydrated, and it's not for anything except for the fact that they don't get watered as often as they do with fresh water. They get forgotten. Usually if they're in a container and the foam and the water's covered, you don't see the water line. So they get forgotten when it's tucked into fresh floral foam. So they don't last quite as long. Anytime you use hydrangeas and you send it out, if you are using it at home, you definitely want to water daily when it's in fresh floral foam. But anytime, if it's in your flower shop and you're sending them out, be sure to put a note on there, water me daily, I am thirsty. And that might help remind people to water. But they just get so thirsty is a lot of the problem.
Anita Green asks, do you sell many blooming and green plants?
We sell tons of green plants in our shop. Not as many blooming. Now we sold a few blooming for Valentine's Day, and we will sell a good many for Mother's Day, but we don't sell quite as many during the year, just regular season.
Miss Abarca says, why do you need to wire the roses?
I wire roses because it's insurance to me. It just guarantees that those heads are going to stay up. And so that's why I like to wire roses. it just gives that added guarantee. Now, some people will fuss and say that's wasted time and wasted effort, but for me, it just guarantees that these little roses are going to stay up. A lot of times, if they get dehydrated, their little stems get weak, and so that little head will droop because the head's heavy on that stem. And so I wire them for added support of that stem, so if in case they do not get enough water, that head's not going to droop. Did you?
Margaret Lynch is on TikTok saying good evening.
Hello, Miss Margaret Lynch. Welcome, welcome. So Victoria grabbed a couple of these pencil cattails that we thought would be fun in this orange and red and yellow. So these are just a dried material that we're just going to add for a little added height. Now, often you see cattails in the fall, but they're kind of fun and a different texture, and it never hurt to add them any time of the year.
Miss Lily asked what state we're located in.
Mississippi. We are in the state of Mississippi. All right, so here are two of our arrangements. I'm going to move my Lazy Susan. We did this red and orange and yellow. It's an $80 arrangement. I don't know if you can see that. That one's $80. And then this pastel with the pinks and the greens and the white hydrangea. This one's a $55. Is that right? $55. And then a bud vase, which is an orange rose. I think these are called Movie Star. That one's $25 in our cooler. And then this is just a fun mixed colored bubble bowl, and it's $35. And so we like to have different sizes and different shapes and all the things in our front cooler, because the more you have in the front cooler, the easier it is to sell something, right? And then they can pick and choose. But I would say for our shop, our biggest seller is going to be a bubble bowl, and we sell all ranges. It doesn't matter what price. They like that shape a lot. So that's probably the shape of that arrangement is our biggest seller. But we sell a good many larges too. Mm-hmm. So we sell some 85s also. So just kind of fun colors, just something different in our front cooler.
Donna says, I've seen on Facebook if your roses start to droop to put them in hot water. Is this true?
I have never put a rose in hot water. So I am not positive about that. A lot of the times when you put that thing in hot water, you're going to cause those petals to kind of get limp. So I've never done that before, but now I'm not saying it's wrong. Just because I've not done it, I'm not saying it's wrong. Now, you can put hydrangeas. If a hydrangea goes down and it gets limp, a lot of times they're just so dehydrated. If you'll fill your sink up with tap water and cut that stem and submerge the entire flower in water, it will rehydrate. And then you can cut it again and tuck it back in your arrangement. But I have never put roses in hot water before.
Julie says, because you have shown us to wire the roses, I've been wiring my grocery store roses and they last at least a full week.
Wow, that is wonderful, Julie. I'm so glad to hear that.
You have lots of fun comments on YouTube about their days working in a flower shop.
Awesome. Yes, we'll have to go back and read all of those. Thanks, guys. Thank y'all. Does anybody else have any questions, Mr. Owen?
We're good to go. Thank you guys for following us on TikTok.
Guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for following. Thank you for the likes. We appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up or a heart. And here on Facebook, if you would sprinkle this video so that your friends could see it, I would so appreciate that. If you guys have not followed us on all the other platforms, we would love to have you join us there. We are on Facebook. We go live how many times a week? We go live 5 days a week in the afternoon, doing videos just like this on Facebook. And then we also do a devotion on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 o'clock in the morning on Facebook. So if you would like to join us there, we'd love that. On YouTube, did you post that video,
Mm-hmm.
that brand new video? We just posted a brand new video over on YouTube. Love to have you check that out. And on TikTok, we are about to post a couple new reels. So we'd love to have you check us out there. Guys, y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow.